as we've said, there are no ghosts. So this is where the ghosts live, from what we know. And he's not home. Let me see. Let me try this. Jake, you may overtake my body. I accept you into my heart and soul. Please, if you are here, take control of me. Use me as a vessel. Gross. Nothing. Yeah, no ghosts. So I guess the lesson of Beaver Creek is there's no such thing as ghosts. There's no God, and the Bible is a lie. Off to Helltown to find out what the government's up to in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio. Hell yeah, bumping out here. Can I get some of this safety herb in my lungs, please? And thank you, are welcome here. Jake, you can't have any because they drug test. Yeah, if you go to work, man, you're gonna get drug tested. Jake, you son of a bitch! You get out here! Hey, Jake! Ain't coming. He ain't coming because he's afraid of me, Brian Quinby, from Street Fight Radio. Brett, would you like a shot at Jake?
Yeah.
Oh, I just fell in a hole. That was Jake. That was all Jake. I think we found the ghost. Jake won't let you see your mentions. He's like, don't look at your phone while you're at work, motherfucker.
Polite about
it's just
it.
not the polite way to have sex.
That's just really one way to have sex that's polite, and it's to say, ma'am, or sir, or non-binary person, would you like to enjoy some making love with me? And then if they answer yes, then you mount that person and you move back and forth politely, and then you kind of finish it up and you say, that was great, and then you never mention it again. That's the right way to have sex, okay?
And folks, and that's why we don't do any sort of sex advice or sex stuff on this show, because there's none to be given.
I am wise!
I want you to write the polite sex book, like the proper polite method.
I just said it.
How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings, shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. How much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make a sandwich. Every new level of hierarchy is more money coming out of your paycheck. Unions are fucking great because it's not HR.
You need solidarity with the other workers. We need to use that and exercise that. You and your other workers are the most important people at that company. I mean, hell, the way I think about it, maybe you don't get a union at all and you just take the whole company away from the bosses, and that's called a co-op.
For the almighty dollar, everyone's a slave. Cause what's the point of doing shit if you ain't getting paid? Ay.
Can you imagine being that sensitive? Like you,
Well, that's
like
what
that
they're
is the
PC as
ultimate.
hell.
Hey, you know what? This is the freest goddamn country, and it's so free that if you don't stand up, you aren't a free person. And goddamn it, boy, if you don't stand up right now, you ain't free. Because you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, I have the freedom to make you feel bad for doing the freedom. Just get up and say you love it. Just get up right now, Copernic. God damn it. It's so free that you can't do it. You have to. It's free because there's only one way to be. That's why it's free. So be that. Damn you. They don't have anything to live. I mean, their kids hate them. They don't have, all their money got stolen by banksters and shit. Healthcare's running through the fucking roof.
Oh my God, have you heard the news? Kids are dying of kratom.
That's not true.
They're injecting it into their veins.
I don't think that's happening.
An ABC Action News exclusive. A mom says a popular herb killed her son.
The most recent death happened in early June. Kratom, also known as metrogenine, was one of 4 drugs blamed for his death.
This was like the devil's drug.
It really is just
Street Fighters? Welcome to the show. We're glad you're here. It's Wednesday night. It's the Basement Show Street Fight. My name is Brett Payne. My co-host is Brian Quimby. We're Street Fight Radio, #1 anarcho comedy show on any station across the nation. And this is how we kicked this thing off 9 years ago, talking in the basement about the world and what's going on, and everything has swung in our direction. I think people are waking up and understanding what's happening, and more people are ready to do the right thing and fight for what's right. And we have a great community of folks that listen each week and connect through various means of social media, and it really has taken off to be something that is bigger than we ever expected, and we appreciate all y'all that support us as we continue to spread this mess across the U.S. Right now, we are taking pre-orders on a Street Fight Radio t-shirt. It has a skull on it. It's very cool. If you saw the cover of the metal zine, the skull on the anvil, that's available for pre-order all month long until the end of October. Our good buddy and Obelisk did that for us. So head to store.streetfightradio.com, pick up that shirt, help out the show, raise some money for Food Not Bombs. And also, we are in the middle of Shocktober. That's this month. That's our celebration that's happening on Patreon. Brian is listening to all of the Shock Jock radio that took up so much of our time in those early 2000s, in the 90s. And tomorrow, I'm going on there.
Yeah, tomorrow it's me and Chris James, the host, and the guest is the fabulous Brett Payne, to talk about a show that only Brett Payne could talk about, Loveline. Yeah. Which is not my favorite show.
You've been keeping me updated. I've seen you tweeting about it too pretty regularly, and it sounds like hell.
It's all I'm listening to. You know what though? Last year you were on the Shocktober show. Likas wasn't like some big joyful time either. You know, Tom Likas. I don't know. He's better to me than Loveline, but maybe only because he's funnier than Loveline. Loveline, not a funny show at all to me. Not fun. I don't get any giggles out of that show. I guess every now and then I get like a little ha-ha, good point, sir. But it's such a dark show.
Yeah, it just sounds like the worst advice, really.
It's very bad advice. Very bad drug stuff. But yeah, you'll hear that on the show. We'll play some clips of them giving bad drug advice and bad sex advice and just all around being bad,
Sounds fun.
And so that is what's coming up. And then the following week from there is Don Imus with Jesse Farrar. Be me, Chris James, and Jesse Farrar talking about Don Imus, which is going to be a funny episode because Jesse's always funny, and I have some pretty funny Don Imus clips. We're really going to get a lot of mileage out of.
He's got so much stuff.
Yeah, we're going to get... He did a stand-up album.
Oh, great.
And we're going to get a lot of mileage out of that, I'm sure. But, so we're recording tonight on the jobber debate night, vice presidential debate, one that I can't watch. I'm going to watch the next presidential debate because Donald Trump is really building to it. This is some build to this presidential debate now, with him being wherever he's at in his mind. You know what I mean? Right. Because whatever's going on there doesn't feel normal to me, and he doesn't ever feel normal. But this is not the Donald Trump that we've had for a while. I have his latest statement on queued up if you want to hear what he said today.
All right. So Donald Trump date.
Yeah, you want to? Let's listen, man. Let's see what El Trumpo, Trumpy McGee, as they call him, small T, large R, Trump. You ever see that one? You like that one?
Yes, I do.
Is that one of your favorites? What's your favorite bad one? The dang Cheeto in chief, or is it? I'm trying to think. What are the other ones?
I don't know if I.
You don't have a favorite one?
I don't have a favorite.
You don't like Cheeto in chief?
It's pretty good.
All right, here we go, Brett. Let's hear what... This is the first time I'm hearing this, but I have enough faith
that whatever he says is going to be worth listening to. And he does look bad, too. He looks bad, you know? I'll bring him up full screen so Brett can see him. Here we go.
Hi, perhaps you recognize me. It's your favorite president. And I'm standing in front...
He's good. He's a horrible person. I hate... It's awful. I mean, it's the downfall of everything, but it's so absurd. It's ridiculous. It's beyond anything you could ever believe.
It feels like TV. It really feels like a Tim and Eric style TV show where it's just taken. It feels like They Live, you know? Or the other day I was talking about it. When he got COVID and everything was going on, you know what it really reminds me of? This is the best I can give you. Running Man. We live in the Running Man universe, I think. You know? Just that's where we live. It's like if the host of the Running Man TV show was the president of the United States. It's like that world, in that movie, that world is gonzo. It's like way out there. And that is just like where we live now, normally. I don't think we're going to ever... I hate to say this. But I don't think we're ever going to kill people on TV again or ever. I don't think it's ever going to happen. But I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say anything with certainty anymore.
I mean, there's plenty of it available, I mean, as like social media clips, but not on like...
NBC's not going to air a game show where we kill convicts or like Death Race or any of that kind of stuff. That's never going to happen. Now... Death Race sounds really cool if it didn't have all the bad stuff tied to it.
Sure.
Like a death race
voluntary death race.
Yeah. Like a nice voluntary. And you don't have to die. No. Really. You could just make cars that are like battle bots that you race. I would love that. All right, because there's a person in the car. It would be more fun. Mm-hmm. It would be more fun to think about the person in the car. You get some celebrities, you know. Battle bots didn't work. Because there weren't battle bot celebrities. You can't make a connection with a battle bot, you know, because it's a robot. And then the guys that are running the battle bots, it's like...
So, but maybe we could do like a crossover with like The Masked Singer, where there'd be like 12 death racers, and then at the end, like Jenna Elfman would pop out and be one of the secret racers.
See, I just like even the idea that the guys that are the racers become celebs, you know, like star athletes. Gals too. Or gals, yeah. I'm just saying that the people that do the racing, right, they end up being their own kind of stars, like NFL
trading cards and shit.
Yeah, trading cards. You know, that's going to happen. All right.
Okay. In front of the Oval Office at the White House,
said in the chat,
which is always an exciting place to be. I got back a day ago from...
That's another good line. Let me go back a second so you can hear that, Brett.
Always an exciting place to be. I'm standing in front of the Oval Office at the White House, which is always an exciting place to be.
Okay.
I mean, you own the place.
It's true.
I got back a day ago from Walter Reed Medical Center. I spent 4 days there. And didn't have to. I could have stayed at the White House, but the doctor said, because you're president, let's do it. I said, fine. You tell me what to do, and I'm going to listen. These are great professionals. They've done a fantastic job. And by the way, not only at Walter Reed, all over the country, we have the greatest doctors in the world. We have the greatest nurses.
This is just, to me, this is so absurd. It feels like the president is doing a variety show appearance, because it's not like stand-up, because he's not telling jokes, although he has told a couple of jokes, like a couple little zingers, but it really just feels like, you know, from the bottom of my heart, people, you know what I mean, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, now a word from the president.
Yeah.
The greatest first responders, law enforcement, by the way, incredible. Firefighters, everybody. They're just great. We have great people. This is a great country. But I spent 4 days there, and I went in, I wasn't feeling so hot, and within a very short period of time, they gave me Regeneron. It's called Regeneron. And other things too, but I think this was the key. But they gave me Regeneron, and it was like unbelievable. I felt good immediately. I felt as good.
Why is he giving this speech? Why? What is this?
He knows somebody.
What do you mean? I mean, I understand the Regeneron part.
Yeah.
But the whole point of this speech, right? What is that? What is the
instill
reason?
confidence in the American people. Of course.
Okay.
3 days ago as I do now. So I just want to say we have Regeneron. We have a very similar drug from Eli Lilly, and they're coming out, and we're trying to get them on an emergency basis. We've authorized it. I've authorized it. And if you're in the hospital and you're feeling really bad, I think we're going to work it so that you get them and you're going to get them free.
Okay.
And especially if you're a senior, we're going to get you in there quick. We have hundreds of thousands of doses that are just about ready.
Oh.
I have emergency use authorization all set, and we got to get it signed now.
Oh.
And you're going to get better. You're going to get better really fast.
Okay.
This is things that nobody even thought of a few months ago. The job that the scientists, the labs, everybody have done is incredible. Then in addition to that, you have various other
they just did a cut.
drugs
I
that
don't know what that
help
cut was
a lot,
for.
But these, I view these, I know they call them therapeutic, but to me it wasn't therapeutic. It just made me better.
That's
okay? I
yeah,
call that
that's
a cure.
I think that's what therapeutic means. I call that a cure. Okay,
Yeah.
Doc, thanks, buddy.
Seemed like a cure to me.
Why did they do a cut? Did you see the cut?
No, I'm
it
not.
Fucking wait, ka-tunk, cut.
So I want to get
There's been a lot of really weird shit with these videos. He was in front of a green screen in one of them.
Really?
It was getting really, by his jacket was like getting really wavy and it was like cut in. It looked like he'd been pasted in and shit.
Do you think he's in front of a green screen now?
I don't think so. I saw this one earlier and I didn't see any weird artifacts. But some of those early ones did. People were pointing it out like, I don't know what this means, but this definitely is a stitched together video.
Why are they doing that is what's freaking me out. It's like there's so little faith. I have very little faith in America, right? Like notoriously very low faith in America, right? Mm-hmm. And like I was always in a small minority of people that have no faith in America. And now it just feels like everything is like Trump comes out with a thing. They're like, this is a green screen. He's just writing his name. This is like nobody has faith in anything anymore. It's really fucking weird to live in because it was like, this is what we were warned about by like sci-fi and stuff like that. Like this is exactly what we were warned about. And nobody knows. Everybody is just like playing their role.
Yeah, I mean, people just want to make it to the next day. I mean, people just are like, will not consider themselves guilty for any wrongdoing by continuing this shit from happening.
Yeah.
There's paper documents in place everyone fucking believes in that make sure that this guy gets to be in charge of all this shit. This is the guy.
Yeah, but they don't trust a single fucking thing that happens, you know? Yeah. I'm not just even talking about with Trump, a guy. Like, all these people are people that we shouldn't have any trust in, but Joe Biden could do the same sort of speech and nobody would trust him either. Yeah. Nobody would trust Kamala Harris. Nobody would trust Mike Pence. There are not people that we trust anymore, or that even most people trust anymore. And it's like jarring if you think about it, because like the people that came before us, whether it was right or wrong, always had like somebody they trusted. They always had like Ted Koppel or Walter Cronkite, where they were like, hey, the guy's probably full of fucking shit or whatever, but like also people trust the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And who is that? Who is that for us?
Yeah, there's no grown-ups.
You cannot.
It turns out nobody's a grown-up.
Yeah, and you can point that out, but I think people still think there's grown-ups. I think that people that listen to NPR still think there's grown-ups, like dealing with stuff, you know, like where it's like that's where all that faith in Nancy Pelosi being a slay queen.
Yeah.
That's where all that faith goes, is like she's a grown-up, and it's like a grown-up that just got caught getting a haircut and taking her mask off. Like,
Yeah, well, I mean,
she's not a genius.
I mean, when it comes to the election thing, it really isn't a matter of. I disagree that nobody believes in these people. They are there because people believe in them. Some people do, but it's the same as it was last time. A third of the people are fucking liberals. A third of the people are conservatives, and a third of people won't vote. Like that's going to be about what we end up with again. I'm guessing that's what it always is. Poll numbers and stuff like that I don't care about anymore. I'm just gonna wait until the day of. I don't think you can forecast it.
Right, it's like trying to forecast the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's like you can say like, this is what I think, this is what it sounds like, this is how they did, but it's also like, not gonna know until that day, so we might as well not put that much energy into it.
Yeah, and I think I mean the thing about Trump that sucks is that, you know, people do just like roll their eyes and turn him off, and like I don't know if he is like he's not a strong political planner or organizer. He doesn't have an idea to like fucking like grasp power and take over, like, you know, Mexico and Canada and shit, but he just has this stupid petty attitude that the election really like I don't think he's gonna say like I'm a dictator now, but no. he's just gonna go, you know what, people are saying I won, some people are saying I won, so I can't step down because some people say I won, and then it's just like the people like no everybody just kind of folds their hands in their lap and is like, we can't tell him to leave, he said he won't leave, you know.
I mean, anybody could do that. Anybody that is the president at any point could have done that. Obama could have done that, and like who knows what would have happened, but he could have said like, I some people are saying that I should be president for another 4 years, and I think I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And like, what would we fucking do? What would anybody do? They would fucking say, no, you're fucking not the president. You're not allowed to be the fucking president. But then like, it would just be like, well, I am. So
yeah, we're the,
that.
we were steeped in this world of authority, and we didn't have a chance to see the seams of things. And, I mean, and now it's just like, there's no rules anymore. And, perfect time for a dumbass to just completely roll over everybody, you know, by just being a baby.
Right. And
I don't think I don't know. They seem like gutless people to me, but you know,
I mean, he doesn't feel like a guy that, he just doesn't feel like a guy that loses well.
Yeah, that's true.
If that makes sense. Like, I think that's the thing that's like, he's going to be humiliated. He's going to feel humiliated if he loses. And who knows what happens to a guy like that when he is humiliated.
I think that's what this tantrum is about to me. And I think it's interesting that the reactions of people online could possibly in some way exacerbate his symptoms. Like, I'm wondering if we can stress his, like he's getting stressed out. When he went to that Washington Nationals game and they started chanting "lock him up," and you saw his face droop and like how annoyed he was by it. I feel like he's overcompensating in a very stupid way.
It's
crazy. Here's the thing. I did realize I made $100 bet that Trump would not be dead in the next 5 years during the COVID thing, and I never once thought that I didn't think that he would get it or die from it. I still really don't, but I do think that he is really, really swirling down the fucking tubes right now. He's circling the bowl.
He's not the same guy he was in 2016 at all, right? Like, he doesn't. He feels demoralized in a way.
It's just he doesn't though. He looks like he's powering through it. Like I mean, I don't know what he thinks in his mind. I still think he thinks he's in charge. He's just like, I can fix it. He's just like, I can fix this. I can fix this.
Yeah, but I think that like the fact that, okay, I tried to fix it with this and that didn't work, here's the next thing. I think that works in your mind if you're a guy like him. And like he's still thinking about it. We can bail on Trump here.
I think he's just like a monster narcissist asshole using people, but
yeah.
Obviously stressed out by this right now.
So I got this story sent to me by you, Brett.
Oh, really?
And it seems like a very important story here for us.
Yeah.
And it is going to be, I don't know. I didn't read through the whole thing, but I think we can get through some of this and learn a little bit. And Brett, you read the whole thing?
Nope.
No.
I read it about halfway through. I thought we could do a
enough.
TV show or something.
Yeah, as long as we know enough, you know. Oh, you thought we were going to do it on a TV show?
Yeah.
That's true. Well,
we still can.
Yeah.
I think that like the gig, like I think that we had to set aside a few minutes for like gig life, and I think that with like that civil app, and then with this situation, I think that it is going to be important. It's going to be important to talk to people about what their working situations are like,
right?
Especially because like Instacart is popping off right now. So many, like I said, so many people in cars they can't afford or apartments they can't afford are working Instacart, are working Grubhub and Uber Eats. Like so much of working life has switched to these kind of apps, and people during this pandemic, the hardest hit people need anything they can get, and they're willing to evict people for money or, this story.
Airbnb, battered by the pandemic recession, announced in May that it would be laying off a quarter of its workforce. In a post hailed for its empathy and transparency, I don't know who hailed it. Let me look at who hailed it first.
Do they have a hyperlink?
Yeah. Forbes. Okay.
Forbes.
So
I hailed them for only firing a quarter of the workforce?
Yeah. Well, but they did it with empathy. They did it with some empathy. And, that's the real thing.
They had LFO come out and do a concert for free.
Yeah, we will have to part with teammates that we love and value. He outlined a generous severance package. Departing employees would receive 14 weeks of pay plus an extra week for each year at the company. Help from the professional recruiters to land new jobs and 12 months of continued health insurance. Around the time Chesky made this announcement, another group of people working with Airbnb lost their jobs. But those weren't called layoffs and weren't accompanied by a compassionate note from the CEO and the workers who handled the day-to-day tasks of bookings, cancellations, and keeping the peace between guests and hosts got no severance. There was no health insurance plan to be extended. These American workers, cheap, disposable, and isolated, worked through a company called Arise Virtual Solutions, a little-known business that has helped some of America's best-known businesses shed labor costs. You may or may not have heard of Arise, but chances are you know what we can do here? No, we better not do that.
What?
I was going to play the audio. Because there's audio of the story, yeah, by NPR though, and it's 30 minutes, so it would be like playing somebody else's shit.
Yeah, we don't need that.
You may not have heard of Arise, but chances are you've talked to an Arise agent. Perhaps when you thought you were talking to a Comcast employee about a bill or a Disney employee about a reservation. Arise lines up customer service agents who work from home. It then sells this network of agents to blue chip corporations. So this is an app. It may not be an app. It seems like a home. It seems like a good a scam, right?
It's call center solutions,
right?
Similar to you've talked about it. There and Columbus does have a lot of call center people here, or call center locations here, but there are some that do that like under one roof. They serve many clients, right?
Yes, yeah.
So like. For every, like, if Victoria's Secrets or Zoomies or fucking Hot Topic wants to set up a store credit card, that store credit card will outsource all of their customer service to just a generic filling house of people that can check accounts and answer basic questions and shit, change passwords and all that stuff.
So this is an app that this is a business that takes that role and then gets rid of the roof, basically. So you just make and maintain an app.
Yes.
Instead of a roof.
So, yeah. Sorry. There's no business to go to. In this one, you work at home.
Yeah. Yes. Arise and most of its corporate clients consider preserving the secrecy of this arrangement to be vital. An Arise company manual says the confidentiality of information related to Arise and its clients must be maintained forever.
Oh no.
He said forever.
Wow, that's marriage shit.
You can't even fucking say it on your deathbed, Brett.
No.
So if you're dying and you look your loved ones in the eyes and say, I work for Horizon Business Solutions, they can sue your family.
They'll take all your inheritance that you're going to give out.
Yes. Well, nobody's getting any from me. Arise's agents are forbidden from publicly identifying the brand name companies whose customers' calls they answer, even commiserating in a private Facebook group. They avoid typing out Airbnb, opting instead for rather flimsy code. The bed and breakfast client, some write. One use Sky B&B.
Okay.
Oh, those are bad. But I mean, well, I get what they're doing. I mean, you know.
For if you're just doing if you're scraping for the words Airbnb, you won't get that.
Arise's workers not only don't work for its clients, they also don't officially work for Arise. Like Uber drivers or TaskRabbit gophers, they're independent contractors. To get gigs, they first absorb substantial expense paying for their own equipment and training, and then have fees deducted from every paycheck for the use of Arise's platform.
Yeah, that's a new one. So, yeah, most call center work, most sales jobs, you show up to a place, they have a computer sitting there for you and a phone. You dial into the system, they give you a headset, right? You put up your little pictures, danger, this is the sarcasm zone. You put that little sign up, at your desk. And you answer calls. These motherfuckers won't even let you run their program. They make you buy the whole setup.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what happened to me when I did bike assembly for Walmart. Because the job was you are an independent contractor, you get paid per bike that you build. So if it took an hour to make a bike, a $3 bike, you got paid $3 for an hour. If you could make 10 of them, it was $30 an hour.
How many are you making? How many did you make an hour?
I mean, I probably averaged $15 or $16 an hour. I mean, every 10 minutes I could put a bike together.
Okay. That's impressive. That's very fast.
They're mostly pre-assembled.
Yeah, you just throw the wheels on.
You got to tighten stuff down and make sure the brakes and all that work and, fill the air. But so the scam there was that when you signed up, though, they made you sign on the dotted line that you would accept a park toolkit and a bike stand. And I applied for this job because I already had a full toolkit and a bike stand. And the first check I got had money deducted from it. And I was like, what is this about? They're like, it's the charge for the stand. And I'm like, I don't want the stand. And they go to hand it to me. I'm like, I don't want the stand. They're like, you have to use our equipment. I'm like, no, I don't. I have the equipment. They're like, well, we can't be assured. This is what this is too. We can't be assured that you will be able to offer the same level of quality as all the other agents because we can't verify that you're using equipment that's up to our code.
Yeah, it says
I did not pay for the shit, but I got the money back. But there was people there that were people that were dog shit at it and just wanted to be good at it, and they were like, "Hey man, what do you do? How do you do that?" They're making 3 bikes an hour, $9 an hour, and then they're paying $2 an hour to rent the fucking bike stand. You
just shouldn't be allowed. I mean, that should be like a basic right thing where if you do a job that needs tools, the person that's sending you to do the job should have to pay with the tools, for the tools. It's kind of like. If you hire at people. The point where you get the tools, you're basically a small business at that time. If you were a person that could do this without the infrastructure of having somebody else, then you could actually do it. So when they hire you on, especially if they're going to treat you like a fucking independent contractor, they should let you use either the tools you have or they should supply tools for free. They shouldn't be allowed. I mean, this whole thing about how these companies are allowed to take your money away is that's the fucking craziest thing,
I mean, and it's just gotten so bad. I remember doing call center stuff when we would get all kinds of crazy bonuses and they kept chipping away at it until nobody got anything anymore. Yep. You just got your hourly wage. You'd get a bonus each month, but they weren't giving out TVs anymore.
I was fucking taking your job over there at Teleperformance.
Yeah. And I would think that, I mean, even if they're making money on this, they're doing this because they make money. I can't imagine why mailing somebody a fucking box with a computer and a monitor to your specifications could be any more than a couple $100, you know?
Yeah, I've got
They could set it up at their fucking house. And yeah, you got the prices?
Yeah, after paying about $1,500 for home office equipment.
What?
It's $1,500 to get a job when you don't have the job. This is so dystopian that this is basically like, take your severance from the job you just lost because of COVID and take part of that and buy this home office equipment, a computer, 2 headsets, and a phone line dedicated to Arise. After paying Arise to run a check on her background, after passing Arise's voice assessment test and signing Arise's non-disclosure form, after paying for and passing Arise's introductory training to which she devoted 3 days unpaid, after paying for and passing a certification course to provide customer service for Arise client AT&T, to which she devoted 44 unpaid days, after then being... Yeah. Yeah. So we're 47 days in to this unpaid, minus $1,500 for
just somebody, because someone wants to desperately just have a regular job and a paycheck.
Somebody needs money. Somebody just really needs to buy food,
right?
You know, or pay their fucking rent. You know, she had to get more training yet, an additional 10 days for which she was told she would be paid, but wasn't. And then after finally getting a chance to sign up for hours and do work for which she would be paid, except for her time spent waiting for technical support or researching customer issues or huddling with supervisors, Tammy Pendergraph spent 3 weeks fielding telephone calls from AT&T customers, after which she received a single paycheck for $96.12.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We got to run on that Arise. That's why you can't say who Arise is.
Yeah. Caltech was the same way. That's what the place I worked at was called. It was like, do not say Caltech ever. You know what I mean? You're not allowed to say this. If you say that, then you got in trouble. You would get fired, because the thing was, like, I was doing technical support for an internet service provider in the South. Bell South telephone service. Not even where I'm from. I didn't have an accent.
You think they would like that if you did?
I think they would like to know that you're from Bell South and you're in the same city that they're in. You know what I mean?
True.
Which would mean you would have the local accent.
Right.
You know, but because they thought you were sitting right in Atlanta. Hey, nice weather here, or Louisiana. They would tell us to know the weather. They would put the weather of the cities that we had on the front page cheap. When you logged in.
Yeah, we used to do that. That's an old customer service thing. I used to Google it all the time when I talked to people. Like, guys, fucking rainstorm down there today, huh? But you didn't have Googling it back then, right?
No, we did. We had a T1 line, but Google wasn't the big thing. It was like Yahoo and stuff. Okay. But like even at the time, there was a front page when you came in for Caltech.
Yeah.
And you would like log into it, and it would tell you if there were any outages or anything like that. And then it would also tell you the weather of the day, or what was, you could click around to what's going on around that part of the country and shit like that.
Weird.
And like you would just basically act like you were wherever the customer was,
It's peach season, y'all.
I mean, there were times where people told me they knew somebody, right? Like, it was Bell South was the cable company down there and phone company. And they'd be like, hey, do you work with Terry over there at Bell South? And it was like, Terry's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, I've never met him. I usually would say, oh, no, we don't get to talk to them very much,
I heard about him. He's a legend in the office.
Yeah, I should have said, Terry's a fucking party animal, man. Cheating on his wife, You hear about Terry cheating on his wife? I was that mean-spirited back then. For playing them, to understand what happened to Pendergraph, a picture of a hanging chain. The first link at the top is a big company with many customers who have questions about their bill or some product or service. This big company contracts with Arise. The second link, Arise contracts with smaller businesses. The third link, these small businesses are often a lone person who incorporated because Arise business model demanded yet another corporate layer. So you also have to incorporate. in order to do this.
So yeah, you are running your small business now.
You are, yeah. So you have to incorporate yourself too, which didn't that cost money?
Yeah, it was like $70.
$70 though, on top of $1,500, on top of 48 days off. It's like
that's
$70 is still kicking the dick. Dude.
Adds up.
It's always a kick. They contract with an agent such as Prendergraph, who is the fourth and bottom link. So the agent assisting the big company's customers doesn't work for the big company. She is 3 links removed. So that is... So I guess there's an independent business between the contractors, or you just turn in to the contractor, right? You turn into the independent business.
It's like an MLM.
Yeah, kind of, where you make a little, where you can't really make any money, I guess.
There's 4 links in the chain, and our
Oh, Brett, it's got all kinds of warning language that you would have only saw. To prospective agents, Arise touts that you can be your own boss.
Great.
And its website says, set your own schedule. No commute. No suit.
Perfect job. Yeah. I bet it pays millions.
Ooh, this sounds great. This is, do you have tattoos or piercings job? This is just that perfect kind of job where like they just...
We need people that sleep all day and then roll out of bed whenever they want and say, let's get to work.
We need guys that are just sitting here smoking cigarettes and fucking watching the TV. It'd be like, I have the TV on mute. I can't believe you have to get their computer and their phone, too.
Smart. Because you know they're buying this for $500 and charging $1,500.
Oh, they're going to Crazy Kenny's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Custom Computer Warehouse.
Yes.
I saw the Crazy Kenny's truck the other day.
He's still around?
Oh, yeah. Dude, Caltech bought all their computers from Crazy Kenny. And, like, Crazy Kenny, I think, sells mad computers to, like, call centers and shit like that. Yeah.
Smart. Good
He's
business.
our computer guy, Crazy Kenny. He goes off on selling computers. Started out of a place in Reynoldsburg, Brett's hometown. You know, he's a hometown hero to Brett Payne.
One of the men that made America.
One of the men that made Street Fights America, for sure. I'm sure you've been at Crazy Kenny's a few times.
Yeah, I know it. It's crazy with a K too. Just so you know.
Oh yeah. Well, if your name's Kenny, you can't spell it Cenny. You know, you either got to change Crazy or Kenny. And that becomes the problem. Arise targets its pitch to those who might have limited mobility or options. Stay-at-home mothers, caretakers, military spouses, or people with physical disabilities. Some agents do find freedom and a reliable source of income. Arise has produced several videos of business owners praising the platform. The president of Girl City, which according to its blog is Arise's largest business partner, praised the company in a video as a perfect fit. I don't know what Girl City is. I can look that up.
Girl City.
That sounds like someplace I'd like to be.
Can I tell you what Crazy Kenny did?
What?
This is from a post back in 2006 from the Columbus Underground message board. Microsoft, which allows people to report suspicion of piracy to a phone number or email account, received a report about Custom Computer Warehouse in 2005. More than a year later, on May 6th, Microsoft sent a secret shopper to one of Crazy Kenny's Custom Computer Warehouse stores. The shopper bought a computer that included infringing versions of Windows XP and Office XP Pro, Schrader said. So he would put the bootleg XP on. He would put the bootleg Windows on there for you.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Kenny.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Hey, imagine a computer if you didn't have to pay for that dang operating system.
Girl City is just a company that works with Allied, basically. They're like a business that hires independent contractors. Sure. Girl City Virtual Solutions. It's the girl power way to rip people off.
Work from home solutions are usually a lot of times geared towards that demographic, like the MLM type thing.
Like freedom.
Moms that need money, right?
Yeah, for sure. But often people discover that despite the layers of legal paperwork between them, the brand name company and the top can still remain strict control over agents at the bottom. Rigid workplace formulas often govern everything from length of calls to frequency of refunds. Deviate from these standards and an agent can lose her job.
Yeah, imagine signing up for a $1,500 computer and having it be like the Uber or Lyft 5-star system where you can just be bounced out. This is the same as when they had those people, they were charging people for those leases. Or you could use their car to drive for Lyft and Uber, and you had to pay to rent the car to work.
Yeah, I imagine that the people you're working for in these small businesses are the worst kind of people.
Yes.
For sure.
These are corner cutting in the worst type of way.
Yeah.
Like what kind of horrible person works at Arise that's like, we're giving people opportunities to run their own corporation. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, this is let's see. A woman from Douglasville, Georgia, filed a declaration saying her initial Arise training had cost her approximately 1 week and $99. She then worked with 6 companies that contracted with Arise. To be eligible for each gig, she paid an upfront training fee, and for each, her training time was unpaid. She approximated the training commitments and fees to Jewelry TV, 1 week, $50. Sears, 30 days, $200. Walgreens, 30 days, $159. TurboTax, 30 days, $59. Rogers, a Canadian telecom, 6 weeks, $279.
6 weeks?
Yeah. AT&T, 90 days, $179. So that's what she paid.
So this is probably, at this point, sounds like it's not providing a service. It's just stealing money from people that want to pay to get a job.
Yeah. And people are always going to want to pay to get a job. I mean, when I was working for a living and there was those periods of unemployment, like I had a lot of them because I worked a lot of fucking jobs, man. You are just in a fucking pure panic. You know what I mean? I don't think people get, when you're at that level, when you're at the level we're talking about, where you sign up to work Jewelry TV for $50 and all of these different unpaid time and all these fees and shit like that, where you're willing to go through all that. There's been so many times in my life where I was willing to go through all that. Yeah. I mean, fuck, dude. I didn't have to work at Lexi's. You know what? I didn't have to work. It's the deli that I worked with. I didn't have to work at that fucking camera store. I had a college fucking degree. I could have just gone out and found a fucking. I saw those jobs as buying time until I could figure out what the fuck I was gonna do. Whether it was gonna be this or it was gonna be going back to school and becoming a teacher. Like either way, those were just jobs that it was like I don't have any fucking money at all. I need money. Whoever fucking hires me, I guess $8.60 an hour, I'll fucking take it. It's better than paying for it. But I could also see myself getting to that point at different times in my life where if this was an opportunity, I would probably see it as an opportunity and fucking go for it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you because like I'm thinking like Jewelry TV, you pay $50 to train. And let's say you get on the app and you get 2 calls and you make $8 or something. You're like, all right, I'm making money. And then it's just like there's Jewelry TV calls aren't coming in. You can pay $179 to DirecTV, and then it becomes this thing where like I'm paying. I feel good about this. I feel like I'm spending my money in a way that is the intention is to improve my life. You know,
right?
This is to get me a job, to get me more money, to improve my life.
And they're
maybe taking a complete advantage of you. Like you have so much value, and they are just completely taking advantage of.
I mean, once you've trained for the call center for all of these companies, you are worth a lot of fucking money. You're worth a lot of money, dude. Because how much does it cost Jewelry TV, Sears, Walgreens, TurboTax, Rogers, and AT&T to hire a fucking customer service agent that knows how to do what they do? You see what I'm saying? Like, these people are, if this thing got outlawed, these people are really fucking valuable people. And it's sad that, like, we don't see their value out here because they are, I mean, that much training in that world is just it's crazy that somebody has that much training because each one is fucking totally different. I never worked in two places. Like, I never worked in like for any different companies at the call center I worked at that was different. That was the same. They're all different. Everything's different. You know, you do fucking tech support. You could be doing, you know, my mom actually worked at the same place for Priceline.com, where it was basically people calling in to say, can I cancel the flight? And you saying, no, you can't cancel the flight. And then just fucking getting screamed at. And they would fucking, they basically wiped out that whole team at one point and then just ended up getting CompuServe, which those people then couldn't work for because at CompuServe, you had to know tech stuff. It was like this really weird culture where, like, if what you do is done, they don't just train you on the next thing, because I think that makes you worth something. And they just fucking wipe you out and you're nobody, you know? Right. And added up, she spent $1,000 for 8 months of training unpaid. A woman in Orange County, Florida, reported working 117.5 hours in 1 2-week period.
What?
That would have entitled her to 37 and a half hours of time and a half overtime if she were an employee. Yeah. But since she was labeled an independent contractor, there was no OT. The same agent had signed with Arise in 2015 to help AT&T customers with questions about bill, rate plans, and other matters. Her contract listed 25 performance measures that she had to meet. Oh my God! Here's the metrics. Here's the service level requirements to work for AT&T. You have to have 30%, less than 30% repeat calls. So if somebody calls and then calls back,
right,
that's like docked. So you have to be at 30%. You have to upgrade 90%. You got to upgrade more than 90% of people to upgrade to ATT Next. Your average handle time, which is call times, is between 400 and 740 seconds. Second, yeah. Caller disconnects, caller's not present. You have to have less than 5%, which you can't even like control that. And that's not something you can even control.
And you know, so much, it's just so much of this stuff happens when you're in the call center. It's a matter of like hearing your employees do it, having coachings and trainings. You're on your fucking own. This company has set you up for absolute failure. You're on your fucking own. You're floundering, and now you owe them money.
Yeah. This is just wild, man. This is like
it's just cruel.
You got to have less than 1% short calls. You have to there's credits and adjustments average per call. You have to do less than $2.50.
What? How?
I don't know.
That's like an ACH fee, basically. Is what that is.
At AT&T too. We're talking about AT&T. Like, this is the situation that people that work in call centers are faced with every single fucking day. This is what working in a call center is. Like, clarified call disposition rate between 95% and 130%. I don't even know what that is.
How do you do that?
But people, I don't know. I guess it's like not clear to, I guess.
What is it again?
Maybe it's not adjusting, escalating okay. Probably, because it says clarified call disposition rate. So it's not how, I don't know. I can't tell. But that's the other thing. The people that are doing it probably don't fucking know either.
No,
man.
they gave him a 48-page PDF and said, read this and sign on the dotted line, and you can start taking calls and making money.
Yes. Yeah. And I remember the call time at Calltech was oppressive, dude. It was 6 minutes. But you were doing technical support with people of all varying different levels of knowledge about what their computers do. Yeah. So, like, sometimes you're on the phone and you're walking a person that says mash on the mouse button instead of click.
Yeah.
And fucking is like, can't you just send somebody over here? You know, and trying to get them to reinstall their network drivers. And sometimes it's just changing a password. Yeah. But like if people wonder why customer service stinks, it's because of things like this. This makes it impossible to give good service. You have to be off a certain amount of time. And what ended up happening with me was like, I hated the call time so much that I applied for a promotion. This is the only promotion I've ever applied for in my life, by the way, to the registration unit, because they had no call times. And I was just like, fuck it. Because I would get 10 minutes into a long call and panic. Like, I would just be fucking in a cold fucking sweat, you know, and then you're 20 minutes in and a fucking manager standing behind you. Like, what the fuck are you doing 20 minutes into a call? And it's like, fixing it. I'm fixing something.
It's true.
Yeah. I mean, here's an agent in Florida testified that he answered calls from customers for Barnes & Noble. Someone hired by Arise would listen to some of the agent's calls and then send him a scorecard with 40 items. Did the agent express genuine interest in helping? If so, he received 3.75 points. If he provided complete information, he received 7.1429 points. If he kept control of the call, he got 2.857143 points. If he, I don't
2.875 what?
2.87143 points.
Oh yeah. That sounds like a lot.
I mean, this is intentional though. This is what keeps people on their fucking heels. I've talked about the metrics at the cable company ad nauseum on the show about how, like, I never fucking knew how to manipulate those fucking numbers. Those numbers just fucking come. I could do my job to my best ability perfectly. I'm going to go in and I'm fucking really going to do this, you know, and still fail at those metrics the same way as if I said, I'm going to take every fucking shortcut I can possibly do. It rewards, those metrics reward taking shortcuts and doing the fucking minimum. But they also squeeze people in such a way that it makes them want to break, and it makes them feel like they're always on the brink of being fired, so they never ask for anything.
Yeah. I mean, I remember on some of those long calls, people just dumping the call. Like, people just, I've been here 25 minutes. This is going to fuck up my time for the whole day. And they would just accidentally hang up on them and deal with it later.
I did that a few times. If you were getting over it, like, there were times where I was about to get to that 6-minute spot and I could tell, like, this dude is just not going to get it. And I'd be like, boom, I'd hit the phone button.
Yeah.
And then if they said something, I'd be like, oh, we must have got disconnected. Or, like, I bumped the phone button.
And that's what happens when you care more about metrics than customer service.
Yeah. And, again, the reason they care more about it is not because, like, the reason they care more about it is not because, like, it makes sense. It's because it sets up a fucking culture. And that's more of what they're trying to set up. It's like a squeeze.
Yeah,
you know
I don't think they're trying to set. I think they're just saying we're paying the least amount and we expect the most out of you. Like, they are just squeezing you.
Yeah, there's more of the Barnes and Nobles thing, Brett. And having worked in a call center, I could tell you on different levels. You can even talk about on different levels how fucked up these are. Asked if there was anything else.
Yeah,
that'll give you 2.8574143 points. So if you ask if there's anything else,
that one always.
Every call
now
center.
When I call, when I actually, like, I haven't done it in so long, but when I call and I've been through this ordeal with some customer service person, right? And
yeah,
I mean, I'm not a terror on the phone, but I am pretty honest. And I'll let somebody know, I've been pulling my hair out of my head over this or something, or it's really frustrating to me, and I want this to work. And I will sometimes be that person that's been on the line for 22 minutes with them.
I mean, that's life.
And when it happens, I celebrate. I'm like, it's working. The internet's back. Oh my gosh, the numbers are great. It's great. You did it. Thank you. Thank you, Carolyn. I really appreciate your help today. And then they always ask that question. Is there anything else I can help you with today? I'm like, no. I just like it's one of those questions that like the company requires it, but I would have brought it up.
No,
I had you on the phone. I would have fucking brought it up.
And people hate asking it too. That's the I hated asking.
I do too. I did too.
It's the worst feeling in the world to ask that question.
No, you called in with a problem. I took care of it. Bye.
I got so many points off of quality control things because I didn't want to ask that. There were two things I never wanted to do. I never wanted to ask if there was anything else I can help them with because I know there's going to be something else. There's always fucking something else. Unless it's a courteous person like you, Brett, I'm sure. But like it always felt like it was there was always going to be, yeah.
That's what... No. In the chat said, I have to ask, is there anything else for my job? And it's horrible when they say yes.
It is. It's the worst feeling in the history of the world.
I was preparing this for this to be done.
We were coming in for a landing.
Yeah.
It looks like there's some availability here. That's what they call it when there's no calls.
Right.
So you just get to sit there for 2 or 3 minutes. It's yeah. Like there's just not enough there. So, and then they got the managers so flipped out on metrics that they're going around trying to get you to go home early. As soon as that happens, they're like, go to lunch. Like they try to send enough people to lunch to get it down to a 1 or 2 call queue.
Yeah. They're fighting against these numbers that they created.
That's call center life is really about numbers that you have to fucking always constantly fucking deal with. And it's just a big numbers business. It's really a call center is a massive fucking algebra or calculus problem. It's all predicated on a huge it's just a formula.
400 people working for this amount of money, that we have X amount of calls that come in. They need to conquer them at this rate, you know.
Yeah.
We need to have a cafeteria and a gym for them to tell them they get amenities.
Yeah. One of the things in here is tone and response were courteous, confident, professional, and positive. And that's 3.75 points. But I also don't know how to grade that. Like how you can objectively grade something like that. I don't know. I don't feel like I could object.
I can.
You could set up an objective set of tone, responses were courteous, confident. People are just different.
Some people are bad at it.
I know. I understand.
Different. I say bad at it.
You got to be real bad.
Also, so here's what I would say. Sometimes people have off days. Like there was times when people had like tragedies in their lives and had to keep answering phones. There was times when I had stuff going on where I really was not in it. And I think that like you need to just pull someone off the phones. It's such a taxing job to deal emotionally with other people. Like when you are talking to the general public, like you said, and you ask that question, is there anything else? The reason it makes you wince is because once you pick up that line, once you hit the button, what the person on the other side, you have no idea what they're going to do.
I know.
And how they're going to treat you, how they will belittle you, or how less of you, how little they could care about you or what you're doing, you know?
No, totally. It is like I posted 2 weeks ago. I'm really curious to see this. Do you think it's better to work in a warehouse or a call center? And almost like 100% of the answers were fucking warehouse. Like, yeah, and I bet you the only motherfuckers that said call center have been working in a warehouse for 10 years.
Well, I would say the pay is the only thing that makes a difference. Like if I made, like when I worked at the call center, I was able to get $13, $14 an hour with bonuses and stuff like that. The warehouse was, you make $9 an hour every single fucking day you come in here. So, but the work, absolutely. I love stacking boxes. I was very good at stacking boxes and pallets and shipping. I like the challenge of making everything fit. I like working with the team. The work is way more enjoyable than having the general public. And especially when they're mad at the company. They're not mad at the customer service people. They're mad because the company is running metrics constantly and trying to give the least amount of service for the most amount of money. The entire thing is predicated on race to the bottom mathematics, and the whole system like is just rotten, and we're a part of it, and we know what's happening, but we hate it, and like we lash out at people. We know they don't get paid enough. We're chiseling away at benefits and jobs. The whole thing is just a clusterfuck.
Right, and I think part of this also, to take it to another way of thinking, is like, this is also like a product of racism in a way, in that like these part of like comedy through the 2000s was about your stuff being sent to India, your customer service being sent to India. And if you called and heard an Indian voice, you were furious. And then you started screaming at the fucking company because it's like, hey, Dell, I tried to fucking call you and I can't, you know what I mean? There was like all of those jokes and just people legit complaining about it. So they brought it back over here, but they only brought it back over here so they could pay us. I mean, they had to figure out a way to pay us nothing,
right?
If they brought it back over here, because they didn't want to fucking, they didn't want to have to actually pay our minimum wages and shit.
Yeah, and like you said, you know, they're like, this happened to my mom, who was in a union for telecom workers, and then they hired people to do less. They have these frontline people that they pay to do stuff like you said, password changes. Hey, I just got married. Can I change the last name on my account? But like you said in those metrics, they want you to not send it up to the next like line. Someone calls in and says, I have a serious problem with my account. You get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Because you were just supposed to change a password and get them off the phone. But but someone called in with a serious thing, that counts against you.
Yeah. Absolutely. If a customer with a question about Intuit's TurboTax software had reached out for help in the fall of 2018, the agent who answered might have been Kristen Davenport. The customer, seeing Davenport on video chat, would not have known she was working from home. She wore a white polo shirt and sat in front of a TurboTax blue screen that she attached to the back of her chair. Nor would the customer have known she was an employee of Intuit. By design, she was far removed, working at the end of a chain that went from Intuit Incorporated to Mountain View, California, to Arise Virtual Solutions, Inc. in Miramar, Florida, to Client Virtual Solutions, LLC, Incorporated in Nevada, to Davenport, who lived in Las Vegas.
And they're doing all of this to avoid paying people to do the job. There's 4 companies that have decided how to take away more from the hourly wage of a telecom worker.
Yeah, the job paid $12 an hour and allowed Davenport to stay home with her 2 kids, who took classes online. The trainers at Arise had made the job sound fun. They were saying, as long as you're wearing your polo shirt, you can rock out in pajamas if you wanted to. I hate this corporate America thing of calling like employees rock stars.
I gotta show, man, there's a video I want you to show someone sent to us. It's from the Kroger training video. It's every time the guy gives a high five. Oh. He's like really aggressive with him. He's like, give me a high five. Like, you know, this is a cool place to work. We're just high fiving all the time.
I can look it up. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
It's pretty wild. I got to get in maybe some of these.
This is Philip K. Dick, I think, had some of this stuff.
Yeah.
We pay to use, like, you pay to use the appliances in your house. You pay to work. You pay to do everything.
Yeah. Corder worried constantly about losing the $9 an hour job which she needed to support her family of 4. She kept watch on her metrics and tried never to take so much as an unauthorized bathroom break. One night, sick with food poisoning, she remembers putting callers on hold to throw up. I prayed there were no extra monitors listening that day. Some of the callers were creepy, Corder said. Want to come do something? She would hear.
No.
Yeah. I don't, not being a woman.
I know.
I mean, I mostly got name drops, you know. I know I'm kin to John Michael Montgomery. Is what the famous guy said to me.
I'm kin to John Michael Montgomery.
Before you tell me that you can't fix my problem, you need to remember I'm kin to John Michael Montgomery.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, he doesn't work here.
I had a few flirty ladies.
Oh.
Yeah, there was some of them that thought it was obviously, I mean, they thought it was funny and they thought they were being like, I don't know, something about them excited it for them. Like in just like a silly way, you know?
Yeah.
But I have had that happen more than once. I also had a guy tell me that he was a part of the Irish Mafia and that he would have me killed for calling him.
Yeah. So this basically goes into the mental toll of what goes on,
which I think we've covered. The chat said this is one person in the chat said this is bumming me out.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
But this is how far we slid, and I really I can't believe there's that many companies. Think of the assholes that are just managing the workers.
Yeah,
people making $9 an hour. What if fucking QuickBooks just paid $15 an hour to have customer service people at their fucking place?
Yeah, I don't know why they can't do that. Why did they have to run through a fucking bunch of different shell game? Here, I got something we can do. What do we got here? What time? Okay, I got something we can do relatively quickly here. Brett, we talked about Chuck E. Cheese's on the show a couple weeks ago. We got to hear a training video. Now, I can't find a Fazoli's training video, and I can't find an All-Star Cafe training video, which is a bummer for both of us. You've had jobs that didn't post their training videos.
Unfortunately.
But we can hear what goes into getting a job at Fazoli's if you would like.
Okay.
And, I
think I remember this.
Lighten the mood up a touch. See, a guy will answer what he had to do. Oh, Mr. Job Applications is the man's name.
I can't see. It's all locked up.
You don't need to see it.
Okay.
Please describe your job title and primary duties.
I need you to do that for me before I let him answer.
Wait, what is it again?
Please describe your job title and primary duties.
When I worked at Fazoli's?
Yes.
I run the drive-thru.
Ooh.
And do the breadstick basket sometimes when it's slow.
What's that? What is? I'm gonna stop you. I know what running a drive-thru is. Everybody knows. But what is the breadstick basket process?
If you dine in, there is this really gross basket that
don't.
Yeah, they get the breadsticks get made. You go up and you grab a dozen of them, throw them in this basket. That is the same basket that gets used every day. It doesn't go in the dish tank or anything.
No, it just
goes. It just goes on the breadstick basket shelf. There isn't a lining that you change every day. It's just a basket. You fill it full of breadsticks, and then you go around to the tables and you say, "Oh, would you like more breadsticks?" They pump you full of breadsticks at Fazoli's. That's their get down.
That's everybody's get down, except for Red Robin's, who their get down is unlimited French fries.
Yes.
Where they only give you 7 and then never come back to your table.
You get 7 fries and they never. That's the metrics for them. Yeah. Like if we don't show up if we go to the table 1.25 times, we only sell 1 serving of fries.
And that's only a half a potato.
Yeah.
I go in there thinking
you're gonna just fill up. That's just a stupid idea though.
I'm gonna get the smallest cheeseburger and then fill up on French fries.
I'll take a slider, 1 slider, and limited fries, please.
Yeah, but Olive Garden's gimmick is that same as Fazoli's, right?
Yes, they give you the salad and the breadsticks, all you can eat or whatever.
Yeah. I love breadsticks though.
They're great.
Dude. That is a good trick. They know how much America loves breadsticks. Is the problem?
They're greasy. They're covered in like yellow butter. Like
Fazoli's got some
sauce.
of the best.
Yes,
Fazoli's got some of the best out there.
Yes, and also I made the garlic butter. I did food prep too.
Yeah. You didn't have any mishaps with the garlic butter?
Well, one time there was this unfortunate occasion. I had the dustbin, the stand-up kind that has, like, you lay it on the floor and it lays flat and then you sweep it up and you pick it up.
Those are great. I want one for my house.
Well, unfortunately, there was this, like, giant bucket full of garlic butter, and on the other side of it was the trash can. So I had to try and get that dustbin over the butter and into the trash can. And wouldn't you know it, I unfortunately spilled quite a bit of that dustbin right into the garlic butter.
But what's good for the company, though?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to get any I didn't want to cause any problems, so I just didn't tell anybody. Just stirred it right in.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do, dude? Whatever people ate when they ate that garlic butter, or like somebody was taking that garlic butter to rub it on there, and it had fucking a clump of hair.
Yeah, and then, yep. Also, Fazoli's was the beginning when we talked about stank restrooms. We had a drain that basically was an just was open to a sewer in hell. Like, it smelled, and they would yell at us and say we didn't clean it, we didn't do all this stuff, and there was nothing you could do to make it any better.
How come so many of these fucking restaurants like Fazoli's? That's not a small company. They're not small potatoes.
They don't want to send people out.
I know, but how come they always build and then don't do good plumbing? Like, what's the deal with that? Why should Fazoli's have a bad smelling shitter? They got all the money in the fucking world to fix the shitters.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for some people I guess don't know Fazoli's. It's their tagline is Italian food, fast.
Yeah. Which is how you like to get your food.
Yeah, I haven't been in a while. Maybe I should go. I have a fucking pasta maker at my house that is better than Fazoli's. Like Raoul's pasta sauce and my... Yeah, I don't need Fazoli's.
No. They're good pizza, though. I liked their pizza back in the day.
Fazoli's, so here's the thing about it, was a place where you could get hired when you were 15.
Yeah.
This was also where I was first introduced to creeper managers, too. We had really bad fucking 23-year-old managers that talked too loose with 17-year-old cashiers, you know?
That's exactly why I want my daughter to get a job. That's exactly why. I didn't want her dealing with that shit.
I was, as a kid, very confrontational about that with some of the managers, calling them like pedos and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's this guy, Kevin. I fucking hated his guts, and I used to just try to embarrass him. I don't know why I didn't get fired or anything. I just would point out that I would just point out when he was a creep. He was obviously a creep, but I would just say it when it happened.
He can't really do it. I mean, no. I guess he could be like, hey, I'm going to make your life hell.
I'm Creepy Kevin. That's all he could say is, I'm Creepy Kevin, and you got away with it then. I would have had his ass on TikTok for sure. If it was nowadays.
I never had the guts. I was always like,
I would just be like, hey, aren't you an old ass man? I'm like, you're bald. Like, you're balding. Or I would say like, you got a car payment. Like, she doesn't even have a fucking car. Her parents drop her off.
Hey, you know, that's what happens. Let's hear what a good answer here.
I started as a dining room attendant. Basically,
I started separate from
dining
you.
room, cleaning tables, sweeping,
yeah, it sucks.
Handing out the breadsticks, all that good stuff. I moved to.
Well, we did do breadsticks.
There was a legendary breadstick guy at the Reynoldsburg one, and I mean, I don't know how to handle this. He was an immigrant guy that didn't speak English as his first language. His name was Singh. But like everybody in Reynoldsburg, Ohio knew Singh because he was so friendly with the breadsticks.
Where's Sing?
He was yes.
Hey, where's Sing tonight?
Exactly. If the Reynoldsburg Raiders were doing like a football celebration, like fundraiser spaghetti dinner, they wanted Sing working because he would just hand 4, 5, 6, whatever many he wanted. He was just fucking going wild. He was just trying to make everybody happy.
Yeah. Take all the breadsticks. I don't pay for them. Did Sing ever get yelled at for giving too many breadsticks? Or is Fazoli's just like, fucking, these are worth less than a penny?
You know what? They never commented on that. They really were like, people come here just because you hand them bread. Every time they start to think about the quality of the food, you hand them a breadstick and they forget. And it's covered. It's liquid butter. The shit is liquid in texture. And it's salt. It's so good. Much kosher salt. It's so like they are addictive.
They just were like, we're gonna do one thing and we're gonna fucking really knock it out of the park with one thing.
I mean, spaghetti is already like a broke ass dinner. Just to have somebody else make your spaghetti for you is like, you can make a lot of money on that.
Yeah,
I want to see the Fazoli's on the Food That Made America now.
Yeah, Mr. Fazoli's. Here's more.
Did the cash register, which mostly was literally just you stow the cash register and help customers.
Yeah.
Worked in the drive-through, same kind of deal there.
This guy's done it all, Brett.
kitchen,
You didn't even get anywhere near him.
What did he do?
He's done it all. You didn't get anywhere near him. He did the dining room. He did the cash register. He did the cashier. Now he's going into where he went in the kitchen.
The only one, okay, so I was able to I did run the line on occasion, but I was never able to to boil the noodles. They had like these huge, gigantic kettles, and you had to be 18 to do it.
There, those things where they like have that line are always so fucking weird.
Especially because the 18-year-old that did it had like vomit on the front of his shirt because he is like hungover from the night before. And, like that's the guy they trusted. And me, I'm literally like, let's cook this pasta to perfection. Like I was excited to actually I didn't want to do register. I wanted to make the food.
There was only one guy. There was only two guys at the whole Chuck E. Cheese that were allowed to put the dough through the thing that rolls it out.
Yes.
Two dudes were allowed. That was it, man.
That's how it was there. There was just a couple duties that like no one else got to do.
It was just two 19-year-old dudes who were just
full-timers. That's what it was.
Yeah.
David was a full-timer, so he did all the full-time shit, and we were all support.
Yeah. So were Matt and Jason. They were both full-timers.
Plating the food, all that kind of stuff.
Plating? Do you do a lot of plating?
A little bit of plating.
Getting everything ready for the day. And then I moved on to be a trainer where I would train new employees, help employees with things they didn't know how to do.
Is trainer a position? Because when I worked at McDonald's, there were not trainers. They what they did is they said, put these pants on and this shirt on. And then they said, go ahead and watch this movie. And then you watched their little VHS tape. And then you went upstairs and they were like, show this motherfucker how to run the hamburgers.
Yeah, that's what my training was too. There was like one of those AV carts on wheels that they wheeled a VCR and a TV into an office. I mean, it's small as a bathroom. I mean, it was a tiny fucking office. You watch movies for the first half, and then there was no trainer. It was just like, this person, Sing's going to show you how to hand out breadsticks.
Hey, so you might not have the best train. The funny thing about McDonald's was their break room was in a basement, like a cellar. Like,
that's weird.
It was the worst.
With that brown tile everywhere?
It was brown tile everywhere. It was like brown, like different grades of brown till you got to the drop ceiling with the one fluorescent light that with one table in there and no microwave because you got free food. So basically it was just a table and a chair, and I always went outside.
Yeah, Myers had an abysmal break room when I worked there as a teen as well.
You should gotta have a great break room. That should be another labor movement thing where it's like, put a fucking foosball table in there.
No, well then try to get you to stay there forever.
That's true. Put a free pop machine.
Quality chairs, light bulb, good lighting.
Maybe some quality chair. I like that. Let's hear more.
Or that they were doing wrong. Sort of be a supervisor in a way for the shift.
Nope, you weren't.
What was your favorite part about working there?
Brett, what was your favorite part about working at Fazoli's? It's money. It's going to be the money in the end.
Was it? Maybe it was the money.
You were young, dude. It was probably the most money you ever had in your life. I would guess.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I did buy a lot of dumb shit. I paid
like
for like PlayStation 2s and stuff like that, or whatever.
Oof. That had to feel good though at 15. I couldn't get a job when I was 15. I didn't have any money, but the dudes that got jobs when they were 15, I was always like, damn, dude, that's some good. Can I get a job? And then they would always be like, I'll ask. And then they'd come back and be like, no, they're not hiring any more 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did actually. I do remember. I think I did put down I got the first time I went like by myself to GameStop or whatever and paid for a pre-order on PlayStation 2. Ooh. I think that was the original one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the reason you went to Fazoli's.
No, that was what I definitely used my Fazoli's money on. I'm looking at the time period now, and it is absolutely one of the things I got. I always loved the food, man, because we would just make up our own shit. That was the best part. Cool. Is that like we would take all the ingredients of like the best ingredients and put them together to make our own subs and sandwiches and pastas and shit.
Yeah,
like,
that was
way
amazing.
better.
That was actually amazing. Like at Chuck E. Cheese, at McDonald's, you're not allowed to fuck around with stuff. Like you're not even allowed to make your own burger. You have to have the guy making the burger. So if you've got a good relationship with the guy that made the burgers, but at the one I worked at, the guy that made the burgers robbed me one day. So I didn't have a good relationship with him, so I just had him make me a quarter pounder or double quarter pounder. And then, I would pour a whole basket of fries onto the plate.
Smart.
The whole plate would be covered in fries.
The
tray, yeah. And, but at Chuck E. Cheese, we invented... Well, I mean, it's pizza. We didn't invent anything. We made a lot of pizzas.
I guess the best part about working there was...
they paid me money.
Being able to be flexible with my schedule.
I don't believe
fuck
that.
No, man.
Even in
Never. I would leave on a Thursday and say, why isn't the fucking schedule for next week up yet? And Creepy Kevin would be like, I swear I'm getting to. I was like, I need to know if I work next Tuesday.
Creepy Kevin, though, probably, it was convenient for him. I mean, it's a very flexible schedule for Creepy Kevin since he makes his own schedule and also he makes the schedule. He probably just scheduled you when he wasn't working as often as possible. Is probably what ended up happening. He probably hated your guts, dude.
Yeah, it was
15-year-old calling me a fucking creep.
Yeah.
Calling me a fucking 21-year-old a creep.
I did it in a ball buster style. Like it was meant to be like fun.
You did it like
funny.
a shock jock.
Yeah, but I'm sure that I guess if I think about it now, it was definitely
no. You don't.
It was meant to be aggressive.
Because I can bust balls with you and it's fun, but you also don't seem like a guy that ever had the gene to be like, I'm going to really insult you, but like it's going to be playful, we're just going to be jabbing back and forth. Like the reason I don't like really insult people anymore, the reason I don't really bust balls is because the only ability I have is to hurt somebody's feelings.
Right.
So I have decided not to do it. I feel like you're in sort of the same boat as me.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
There's just this thing where you're like, oh, I'd love to fucking sit down and bust balls with you, but like,
I'll go over the line probably.
Yeah, and I will too. That's the way it fucking goes. That's why I don't have the conscience to do that. I can't do that to people. It would make me feel bad.
Yeah.
But that's what makes shock jocks. Is they don't give a fucking shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I think it's still, it can be fun, but it's definitely not a workplace type thing.
No. And creepy is just not calling a guy creepy. Maybe back then, calling a guy creepy was a whole different thing. Like, things were a little looser back then around age and stuff.
I listened to that Guilty Conscience song by Eminem that was popular back then, and it blew my fucking mind.
Yeah.
It was a whole different world.
Yeah. I'm listening to fucking Loveline, and it's all like, hi, I'm 13, and my boyfriend's 27.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
And now Corolla's like, oh, where can I get his dating manual?
About that, because I was in school. I was going to high school at the time, so
he was like you.
Work around all of my extracurricular activities.
Well, they have to work around that.
Yeah, that's by law.
Would give me enough hours for it to be worth it to work there.
Please describe a typical day as an employee.
All right.
Basically, you go in and make sure your station, where the area you were working in that day, was set up and ready to go for the next several hours.
This fucking guy's electric, man. You are doing so much better at describing this job than him.
Yeah.
What was your typical day like? Did you just go in there and fucking bust Creepy Kevin's balls and then say what up to what was his name?
David.
Sing.
It's Sing too.
Did you say what's up to Sing? Give me, maybe eat 3 breadsticks real quick.
Sing was there. Usually when I got in, he was also a full timer.
Did he was there early and left late, right?
Yeah.
Was seeing like
he did dining room all day. Yeah, he was there from like noon to close or whatever it was, or 2 to close, afternoon to close. Basically, was what Singh did.
I wonder.
But he ran the dining room. Fazoli's the big ass spaghetti. They were huge on spaghetti fundraisers, and you never knew when it would happen. You would just go clock in, and then they'd be like, you know, some fucking baseball team is raising money for a cancer kid tonight, and all of a sudden it's 3 hours of fucking running around and like people complaining. Singh can't keep up with breadsticks. Like David's covered in puke already. He's not looking good. Like he can't keep up.
It's creepy Kevin though.
Creepy Kevin
could tell you ahead of time.
He doesn't. He's too busy flirting. He doesn't do anything but flirt. He doesn't do anything. Hey, what'd you do today? What'd you do, pretty lady? What'd you do today?
Oh, Kevin.
He had like a ladies' man type voice.
Creepy Kevin.
He sucked.
Oh man. I can't listen to this guy talk anymore, but how would you describe the application and interview process?
You know what? I don't remember I don't remember mine, but I remember this one kid, this horrible kid from our school, that one of your types
Brian
was not going to graduate, but he had already worked at every fast food place. So I show up at like 4 to clock in after school, and Matt, this bad kid, shows up. He interviews, and they're like, "Can you come back later today?" And he was like, "Sure." And he did. They gave him the polo, and they got him to start working and I was like, I remember talking to whoever hired him, was like, "Man, that guy's bad news. Like, he's horrible." They're like, "Well, he has experience with Taco Bell. He has experience with McDonald's." They're like, he's familiar with the fast food environment. It was like, I don't think you understand. He's failing in all of these. That's why he's ended here at Fazoli's now.
He's worked at all of them. He's a paper boy. He worked at Dairy Queen. He worked at McDonald's. He worked at Hardee's.
And he's
There's
15.
not even a Hardee's around here. He's 15.
He's 16, yeah.
He wasn't me. Although I would push back a tiny bit and say that I was excellent as a teen at keeping a job. I worked at McDonald's for only 3 months.
Uh-huh.
Nobody works there longer. It's like the worst place in the world to work. Chuck E. Cheese for a year 7.
Okay.
A year and 7 months.
That is long. That's a very long job for teenage.
Yeah. And then Kroger for like. Well, I worked at Kroger for like 7 months.
I meant you as in like a DNF student.
Yeah.
Like it was just a kid at school that did not care about school at all.
Yeah. But I
liked money, but wanted money.
Yeah. Well, money buys weed and.
Yes. Yep.
And shit
That's
like that, you know. All my money bought weed and smokes and fast food. Like that's all.
Yeah.
I think, and clothes, Adidas specifically,
of course.
And CDs. We used to have to buy CDs.
CDs were so. I mean, imagine. I think I was making $6.75 when I left Fazoli's, and I was also paying $17 for a CD. I was working for 3 hours for 12 songs.
Yeah, me too, man. You know, you're buying a 12 and like
to own
it's like
12 songs.
The shitty thing for Brett though, that's different from me, is that you like all sorts of music. I only listen to like one thing, so like I was waiting for CDs to come out. It wasn't like I was going to the store and buying CDs every time I got paid.
Yeah,
it was that like. When a CD was coming out, I had to save up. So I had money on a Tuesday. You know what I mean? Because comes out on fucking Tuesday and you get paid on Friday. It's like, I don't think I'm going to have any money on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I made $160. I'm going to buy a quarter and smoke it all in one night. And then the next day be like, can anybody get eighth? You go get eighth? That was like every Friday and Saturday. That was the whole day. Hey, you guys want to throw in on an eighth? For $25. It was 25 at that time. 25 an eighth, 50 a quarter, 80 a half. Not bad deals. Yeah.
For horrible weed, though.
And we used to be able to get 50 a half off the big time drug dealer. But
yeah.
It was kind of touch and go sometimes with him. I remember one time we walked in there and he like legit, he really did have an Uzi.
Cool.
And I was just like, oh, I don't like this at all. This is, I don't think guns need to be brought into this situation. So that's what it takes to get a job at Fazoli's.
Sounds like it.
I think. So would you say, out of all your jobs, where do you rank Fazoli's?
I did really good. I was pretty good at doing the drive-in and coordinating orders and stuff. I don't know. I liked it. It's like the warehouse thing. I think that getting food to people was a lot more enjoyable than taking phone calls.
But I fucking 100% agree. I agree with that totally. We came to Chuck E. Cheese, which is even more of a high level and more of a pain in the ass than like a regular restaurant.
Yeah.
Still would rather do that than take calls.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I don't know. I'm nostalgic for it if I think about it right now, just because I want those breadsticks, really. But it would be very easy for me. Like to think about right now going and get a job at Fazoli's, I think it would become very easy just to do the orders and stand around and wait for orders or to do the thing. It's I don't know. It feels like it would be, I have so much experience. It's,
Yeah, well, it's also like, if you could make a living doing that really well, that is like a good way to fucking make I feel like that is a good, respectable way to make a living. If you could make like what you're making now and live the lifestyle that you're living now, like, I don't know, man.
And when I had food from a window.
Yeah, when I had those jobs, man, it was never about the work. It was never the work that bummed me out. It was the money.
Yeah.
And that was it. And it was just like always struggling with the hour. Oh, I don't want to work too many hours, but I also, you're not giving me any fucking, it was always a constant, either I'm not getting any hours or you're giving me too many hours. It was never like, they always say flexible schedule, but that doesn't like really mean anything in the end, because it's like, if the hours are there, you got to work. And if they're not there, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't work,
Yeah. And then there's also the matter of like, once you're in their system and you're climbing the ladder, it's like, there's not going to be any gigantic jump in your income.
I don't even know.
They give you 25 cents of fucking every 6 months. At those places.
And you don't even know where, there never feels like a path up at a Fazoli's, at a McDonald's, at a Chuck E. Cheese. Like, I don't even know where it's like, if I go over to my manager's house, if I go over to my manager, my general manager's house, and it's a bummer, like, what am I working for at this point? You know what I mean? Like, if they're living in a real bummer ass situation, if my manager, the guy that's bossing me around, that's an adult that makes his whole life out of Chuck E. Cheese, then shit, dude, what even chance do I have?
Yeah. And when like we know somebody that was a GM for a restaurant chain. And they upended their whole life because the company needed them to move to another state that they've never lived in or been around. And what kind of life do you have? You're just living in service of the company. So many of the GMs and managers at my corporate places were like, oh yeah, I did a little bit of time in Tulsa. I was in Poughkeepsie. I've been, like wherever they need me. I'm just desperate for jobs and money, and I just wherever they tell me to go, I'll do it.
Going to the worst places.
I give it my whole life. I basically am at the whim of this corporation. Is what I've done.
Right, and you're not going to like Chicago, New York City, fucking Santa Fe, or you're like going to like Poughkeepsie, like places that nobody else wants to go to, pretty much. Like
Evansville, Indiana. You're gonna go run a fucking Longhorn Steakhouse in Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah, and they pick those places because the other places, there's plenty of people working. There's people they have to send to work at those places. It's just, I mean, fast food and food service could honestly be a great job. Would be, I don't know, like it would be a really rewarding way for me to have made my living, because I always enjoyed working at restaurants. I always enjoyed being around the other workers. I liked the characters. I liked the guys like Sing. I liked the Barfy Kid.
Yeah.
You know, I liked all the weirdos I fucking worked with. You know, I worked with. You know, and I loved being around that cast of characters, and I loved just doing something, and then at the end of the night, it's like, I know what I did, and I'm done, and I just clean it up and go home.
Yeah.
There was so much about all that stuff that was so appealing to me, and when I had to leave doing it, it really fucking bummed me out.
Yeah, and there's something about, like, even my just intrinsic edgelordiness of the time was just that I can deal with and anybody can say whatever they want at my face, and it's like, it's not going to faze me. Like, I'm just going to take your order or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah, it
or
fazed me. I was horrible, man. I got my feelings hurts every time.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel that there is, like, to make those, They worry all about like the thing we were talking about with the renting the customer service. They spend all this time and money figuring out how not to pay people to do a good job. And if people were just paid to do a good job, it would benefit every single one of us.
You're right.
To be able to call somebody on the phone that was actually an expert at the customer service thing and knew that they had a position and weren't like living on the razor's edge. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Whatever.
That's it. That's the show.
That's Street Fight Radio. Thanks for listening. Please consider buying a shirt. We've got a cool Skull t-shirt. We're taking pre-orders all month long. I wanted to say thank you. We're doing the donate option this time as well. So if you want to pay for half of a t-shirt, or if you don't have $25 for a t-shirt, you only got $12.50. We are offering discount shirts for $12.50, and we had James M, Carol B, and Michael K. Thank you so much for donating and paying for half of a shirt for another Street Fighter. That money is going to benefit the Food Not Bombs and Dan, our artist, and then us as well. It's a really awesome shirt. It's going to be a huge order. I can't wait to see them once they're here. It's very neat. If you saw the cover of the metal zine, that's basically what it is. Also, consider supporting us on Patreon. $1 a month. We just released some audio of the videos that we do. $3 a month, you can get a zine. $5 a month. Brian and I just finished up The Food That Made America. It's about Hershey, Bird's Eye, Kentucky Fried Chicken, all of that. We watched those. The third episode tonight, so that's coming to the $5 video level. $8 a month gets you video, audio, and your zines, and then $12 a month we'll mail you one in the mail. So please consider subscribing to Street Fight Radio. We are having a writers meeting for Means tomorrow, and we will be nailing down the show and starting to put together the scripts for what we shoot. Hopefully that's happening in the next month or so, but I think we're on the way to getting this thing done. Thank you to everybody that supports and subscribes and loves what we do. You can find us on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube for live streams. We are Street Fight. Head to streetfightradio.com if you want clarification or links or information on any of that. Peace.